Hello, everybody. It is Friday, and I'm in LA. I'm actually overlooking the Marina Del Rey today, and it's actually raining, which makes it really funny considering I'm from Oregon. People are saying, "Sorry, it's the same weather as you." Doesn't bother me. A little rain's good. Hope all of you are doing well. Thank you to all of our members for supporting this mission. And as a reminder, Indie Agency News, our brief, create the home for independent agencies. Our mission, serve independent agencies and the brilliant people behind them. Our goal is more visibility for indies and more choice for marketers. And before we get started, we got a few housekeeping things. So I do want to start with this. Our preferred partners, very important to us continuing to help grow this mission. So let's talk about competing with holding companies. And I think you know what I mean. So the moments when you're pitching against the big guys and feeling outgunned, our preferred partner, Goodway Group, has been solving this exact problem for nearly 20 years. Sarah Williams from Left Hand Agency calls them a team of superheroes. And here's another thing. Goodway doesn't just execute media. They support and review your pitches, provide managed or hybrid access to premium DSPs. You know, a little DSP. Let's get the right banner up there for you, shall we? It's a long story about our production platform, but it's great. But going back to Goodway Group, providing managed or hybrid access to premium DSPs and use their proven media buying technology to save your clients money while making you the hero. The result, you win bigger business without building everything in-house. So you can see the Scrolly McScrollington up there, goodwaygroup.com/indie-agencies unite. And you get a chance to see a little bit more about the approach. And as a reminder, we handpick our preferred partners. So we take our time to vet. We also make sure that our partners have Indie Agency News members as clients, because it's important for you to know that other Indie Agency News members are customers of our preferred partners. So thank you, Goodway Group. Want to get into a few other things before we get going. We've got the Leadership Summit in Chicago presented by Arima. Thank you to Ray Kong and the team there. The theme, it is not enchantment under the sea. It is building an unfair advantage for marketers. And we have a keynote session that we just announced. Anthony Reeves, who currently at Kohler, but has worked in the brand space, also on the agency side as well. And he has spent a number of years working with agencies in his brand roles. So he's going to be our lunch keynote, and we're going to have a lot more coming up in the next week or so, including speakers. Also, our top 40 classic is open for business. And we're going to be announcing our jury. We're going to be announcing our juries for each category, and then also our top 40 jury as well. So we've changed this up. Huge kudos to Katie Wally-Wiegert for helping us getting this thing, getting the hatches battened down, as it were. There's a nautical theme since I'm in Marina Del Rey. But you got some time. Final deadline is May 1st. But you also can get an early deadline going by April 3rd. If you have entered the One Show Indies, send us your receipt. We'll give you 40% off. Members get 25% off. You can see the 10 categories. And it's pretty simple. You fill in all your information, 250 to 500 words. And that's it. We're not going to make you jump through any hoops. Just show us your good work. And we're excited to present our jury next week. Okay, let's get into the task at hand. Speaking of Los Angeles, bringing Howard Moggs in. Moggsy, I like how you just put Moggsy and you don't even care. Like, you're just like, we're just going to call you Moggsy.
Formally, you can call me Howard, but my wife calls me
Right.
Howie. My friends call me Moggsy. You call me Moggsy. So,
Are you? So my real name is Douglas, and so it is rare when I'm called that. And when I am called that, it's usually when I'm in trouble. So is that accurate on your side as well? Or is it like your middle name?
No, yes, Howard. I can imagine Douglas when you're in
Yeah.
Douglas.
Oh, my wife. Oh, my wife. Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is our second in Consultant Corner. We had done a great biz dev one. We invite you to take a look at that, and we'll link back to it after we recap our chat today. But thank you to all of the consultants. There is a consultant tier, so go to indieagency.news/join, and you can get yourself involved in the Consultant Corner. And so, here's the thing, and you and I have known each other quite a while, and we're talking about positioning today. And boy, there's a lot there's a lot to unpack. We have a finite amount of time, so we're getting a little bit of a sampler platter going on this one. But today we are talking about the importance of ensuring that your positioning makes sense. So, I mean, the title of this thing is When You're Unique Sounds Like Everyone Else. And so what I want to start with is, let's dig into when you start with, and like, the agencies you work with are wonderfully gifted and talented. Our members are wonderfully gifted and talented. But when you start working with an agency that you can see, it's like, oh, they're good. What's the first positioning problem that you see?
There's a lot, and it's varied. And again, we've got about 25 minutes to dig into all of this, but usually it's a failure to focus. When they say, like, we work with clients big and small across all categories, major red flag. It's not possible for an agency to be an expert in every type of client, business mode, size, scale, category. So there's a lack of focus on the type of client. And then as a result of that, there's a lack of focus on the types of problems that they're solving for those clients. Typically, when I meet a new agency, I say, okay, are you a problem solver? And they'll say, oh, absolutely. Okay, what's the biggest problem that you solve for clients? And they go, well, what problem does the client have?
Oh.
And then that there's an issue, because they might be adequate or above average or good at solving just about any problem for any type of client. But the problem is there are 39,000 advertising agencies in the United States. And the chances are your 7 out of 10 is going to be trumped by somebody's 9.5 because they've focused.
Right. Yeah. And what I've heard from some agencies, recently and in the past as well, is, and we'll get to the CMO perspective here in a minute, but there's this perception that even if we've done one thing in that category, it's important for us to put up because that client might need that, which feels like maybe, sure, in 2004, that probably felt right. But even then it's debatable. But when you get pushback and saying, well, we fear that if we don't put everything up, then people aren't really going to understand us. What do you say to that? How do you push back on that one?
I think you need to do the hard work for the clients.
Yeah.
Like category experience is really important, of course, right? But it can be learned. I think it's more important to be able to have prove a track record of solving the client's business problem than it is to necessarily have specific category experience and just not be conflicted out working in that category at that particular time. My mentor and colleague, Rashad Tabakawala, famously says that Toyota and Ford were too busy trying to build a better car than one another to see Tesla and Uber coming. And what that tells me is that innovation comes from outside of the category. So if a brand is looking for iterative improvement and category experience, sure, but if they're looking for transformational impact and an indispensable partner that's going to take them from here to here, then it's much more important to be able to solve the business problems that sit right in front of them.
Every agency is looking to grow their business and build their business. And one of it, there is that thing of chasing bad money sometimes. I want to talk a little bit about the commodity trap and what it looks like when an agency is either unwittingly or unknowingly selling commoditized services instead of valuable outcomes. And let's talk a little bit about the business cost besides competing on price, because pricing is a massive part of it. But if you're commoditizing what you do, that can be a huge trap.
Yeah. Look, there's kind of two or three parts to it. The first thing is that most agencies lead with services. They say we're a full service creative agency. The second part of it is that they say things that they feel are differentiated, but they aren't, right? Like we work with 15 agencies right now. I speak to 3, 4, 5 a week. I've been in this industry for 25 years, and the same so-called differentiators show up. We work with ambitious clients. We create breakthrough work. We get you an unfair share of culture or disruption. They coined it, but everybody uses it, and it just sounds the same. And then the third part is, the third part's actually valuable. It's just said in the wrong order, and that's the philosophy. They say we're a full service creative agency and we'll get you breakthrough work in culture, and we believe in disruption, using that as an example. Or, we believe nothing's impossible, Saatchi and Saatchi, my old employers. Great, right? But like, you're not telling a client why they should make the impossible possible or why they should disrupt. You're not leading with, we work with clients like you and we solve these types of problems, and you have those problems. And when we solve those problems, you get these outcomes. And if you are that type of client, you have that problem and you want those outcomes, you need to believe in our philosophy, which is disruption. That's the way to do it, right? So you have to make the impossible possible. You have to use brutal simplicity to steal M&C Saatchi, right? Like these are great philosophical differentiators, but when you lead with them, you are not giving a prospect a reason to understand why they should follow that philosophy. So then the impact of that really is that you become an interchangeable vendor.
Right.
You have service offerings, and yes, you can build relationships with clients, and yes, they can buy into your philosophy. But if you want to become an indispensable partner, then you need to take accountability for delivering the outcome that the CMO's heads on the block for. And our agencies that speak to CMOs and say, hey, you're 10 years shorter than ever. We're on our neck is on the line as well. We're going to take some accountability for making sure that you're a success, not just kind of responding to what you think you need and being the best service provider until you find someone cheaper or procurement says they're out of your price bracket. Right. Anyway,
procurement's a totally different show at a different time, but I hear you.
It touches on this, but yeah, I got a whole other dialogue about how to price and deal with procurement. And
so let's talk a little bit about the differentiation framework. And part of this too goes deeper than simply, cosmetic might not be the right word for it, but if you are going to talk about solutions and you can't necessarily deliver on it, that's a problem. But I'm curious if an indie sees that their positioning looks, sounds, feels like a competitor or someone else's, what in the agency differentiation framework, what are some of the places to start step by step? Take us through that a little bit, because it goes a lot deeper than simply changing copy on a website.
Well, it comes back to what I was saying before about focus. But the process itself, if you think about the types of clients that you service first, take a look at your client list and your best work over the years and look for patterns, things that connect those clients. And that could be a vertical. Some people want to say, yeah, we work in travel and we want to conquer travel, and that's cool. But what we look for are horizontals. So we say, oh, are all of your clients premium or luxury brands? Are they all innovative companies? Are they all inclusive? Are they all D2C brands? Are they all PE-backed mid-market scale-ups? Are they challengers? Are they market leaders protecting their position? Like, what are the patterns and the points of connectivity horizontally across categories? And just by doing that, you can show up to a client and say, we only work with clients like this. And they go, oh, I'm not that client. And you go, great,
right.
Let's continue. You're vetting them from the beginning, right? So that's the first piece of it.
Right.
And then the second piece is problems. What problems have you been solving for those clients? Like what you'll find is that a pattern emerges. The same types of problems start cropping up. We do this exercise with our clients where we play it back to them after reviewing all their case studies. And then we say, hey, like 70% of the time you're solving these 3, 4, 5 problems. And they're like, no, I did not know that. And we look at like where the profitability is across jobs, and the ones that they've solved multiple times, they have higher margins on because they have muscle memory. And then what we can do is start to say, okay, we can solve these types of problems for these types of clients. From a prospecting standpoint, we can go and find those clients, those prospects that fit that profile and have those problems. We use a tool called Waldo, if you're familiar with Waldo. It's amazing finding those insights as to what's going on at a particular brand. And then that gives you a narrative where you can reach out proactively to clients and say, hey, it looks like you've got this problem. We only work with clients like you. If we're right, here's how we've solved it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clients before. Maybe that's worth 15 minutes of your time.
Yeah. So here's another consideration is if an agency is known for something, right? So if you are known for a particular brand, a particular campaign, there tends to be, at least in my experience, a thing where they say, well, we know we're known for that, but we want to get away from that. Is it more important? My philosophy on that is, well, you lean into that because it's better to be known for something than nothing, and then you actually can open up a more of a conversation. But what is your thinking on that? If an agency is known for something and says, well, yeah, we're known for that, but we want to go in this different direction.
When I had this exact conundrum in 2014 when I joined an agency called Team One, which are part of Saatchi and Publicis. They're a 500-person network agency. They're amazing. But they were known for being the Lexus agency. They had one guerrilla client that everybody knew them for. And we used this exact framework to reposition them to focus on premium and luxury brands and making those premium luxury brands in hyper-competitive commoditized categories, making those brands worth paying more for. And that was the foundation of what was a very successful 4-year tenure that I had at that agency and a chapter in their existence. So what I would say though is that the default from a reputation building perspective is we want to show people how creative we are. And the issue with that is there can only be a few creative hot shops at any one time, and they come in and out. If you've been in the industry for a while, you remember the heydays of Crispin Porter being like creative agency of the decade and winning everything, and but things come and go. Whereas solid positionings that are rooted in authenticity and effectiveness and substance doesn't matter. Like if you can build a reputation for that, clients will seek you out and say, hey, we need exactly what you do. We're in that situation right now, and you're the only show in town. I mentioned before there are 39,000 advertising agencies, and everybody is struggling to differentiate themselves. Yet, there are very few agencies that you can point to that are known for solving a specific problem. And there are lots of problems. I've said this before, if anyone wants to start a loyalty agency for subscription brands, Just that. We don't get you new clients. We just keep the ones you've got longer. There is
interesting.
Massive money to be made, and maybe there is, and maybe people are screaming at the screen right now saying it's this company, it's that, but I've been in this industry 25 years. I'm just using that as one example. So build reputation based on effectiveness, and then bring the style, right? Substance with style.
Yep. Let's talk about the CMO. Excuse me. When a CMO is evaluating agencies, and every pitch opens with "we're agile, strategic, yada yada yada," what should they be listening for to identify genuine differentiation? What should they be looking for?
Well, I'm going to answer it in two parts. The first part, I'm going to sound like a stock record. They should be looking to see if they've solved their business problem.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing. Like, even if it's outside a category or whatever, like, unless you're in a highly regulated category and it takes forever to learn it and understand it and all of that kind of thing. But look, if you're selling candy bars or toothpaste or, airline tickets or something, like, yes, there's nuance to it, but have they solved that business problem is the first thing. And if they can speak to that, then you know that they're focused on effectiveness. The red flag is when you see agencies say, we drive business results. And it's like, well, I hope so, because they're paying you $90. But when you're not specific about that type of business result, then that's a red flag. The second part of it is, I guess, a word to CMOs and marketing leaders is the magic comes from when you combine an external perspective of the brand from an agency and an internal perspective of the brand from the brand's inside looking out. And it's that collaboration of perspectives that really unlocks the magic. The brand knows the brand better than anyone, right? And their actual business. But the agency knows consumer and culture and, arguably the category if they've worked in it before. And it's the combination of those two things. So, the system that we work with at the moment, where brands write a brief in isolation without the external perspective of an agency, and then pitch it out to agencies who compete to be the most agreeable and do the best job of what the brand is asking for, and is broken. And the best agencies, of course, they challenge the brief and they poke it and prod it and stuff. But I think that the best briefs are written collaboratively with that dual perspective.
Yeah. Brief aside, and I'm telling this story like 19th hand. So apparently the late great Jim Riswold at Wyden, he used to take the brief, and then he would like rip the paper. He would just be like rip, and then it would just be this tiny little piece, and he'd hold it up and say, "That's all we need." That's how brilliant Jim Riswold was. That's how brilliant Jim Riswold was, and it's so true. It's so true. It's so true. You want to do a little quick fire? I think this might be okay. Let's do a little quick fire. So keep your answers to one sentence or two sentences tops.
Okay.
Let's see if you can pull this one off. The biggest lie agencies tell themselves about positioning.
That they're different.
Okay. That is quick. That is a very efficient answer.
I can add a tiny bit to it if you want.
No, yeah, a tiny bit.
For indies, it's we're big agency talent in a small agency package. It tells people you're cheap, and clients aren't looking. Well, procurement want cheap, clients want effectiveness. So,
yep.
Yeah.
All right, one word that should be banned from every agency's about page. Oh, there's a lot of them, aren't there?
I was going to say culture because it's just so overused, but it's like I'm not going to ban it from that because I don't rule it out on our clients' websites.
Right.
One word, like kind of like bold or ambitious, right? It's self-serving.
Okay.
we want you to jump out of a plane because we want to make crazy ads that might win awards. And it's like,
yeah, but here's my pushback on that. One of my arguments about independent agencies is they can't afford not to be creatively ambitious.
No, but
the way it's framed is probably, that needs to be sussed out.
Yes, it's basically asking someone to jump out of a plane before knowing why they should jump.
Odd analogy, but okay.
I have plenty of odd analogies. There's loads more where that came from. But if you if you're asking a client, I've had so many creatives over the years that get frustrated because clients don't buy their brilliant, risky ideas, right? What they fail to do is put the parachute on the back of the CMO.
That's fair. Okay, now the analogy makes sense. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. You could not jump, but it's going to be worse. I nearly swore. Sorry.
No, I got you. All right, final one. When you know an agency's positioning is working, fill in the blank.
The conversion rate is like north of 50%, between 50 and 100%.
Okay. I think that sounds good. I kind of like that. Okay, well, there's a lot to cover on.
Can I add a part 2 to that very quickly? 10 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, of course.
So many agencies come to me and tell me that they need more leads.
Well, yeah.
And they think it's a sales problem. We need hunters out there banging the drum, getting out there, opening doors. And 99% of the time, it's a positioning problem.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. How do people get a hold of you, Moggsy?
Howard@uncommon.team, or go to the website www.uncommon.team. We'll see what
.team, just like us. We're .news.
Yeah, that's it. We were talking about the A team just before we came on.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Did you determine which character I am?
Oh well, BA Baracus, you're the muscle. I would say there's a bit of Murdoch about you, right? Because you've got mad personality, howling mad personality. I don't know. Not feeling it.
No, it's like the mad personality part.
That's it. No, but in a good way.
Oh, look, we got a comment. Greg Lewis, what we do isn't sold, it's bought.
Yes.
I like that. That's a really good point, Greg.
Yeah.
And then Chantal is just trying to be, that's very nice.
Hi, Chantal.
Oh, here we go. Here, Greg, the realtor, until you're ready to move, you don't need a realtor. Oh my God. Greg Lewis.
Yeah.
Greg Lewis is the MVP of the show today.
I like that comment. What I'll say is on that though, is that there are definitely times when people don't, to use your analogy, when people don't realize they need or want to move until you let them know that the house is worth $3 million more than they thought it was, and actually there's a really nice neighborhood down the street, and then they're like, it'd suit them a lot better. So there is a proactive, like, you don't have to move, but like this could happen if you do.
Yeah, no, totally get it. Listen, Moggsy, see you tomorrow. I think we might do a little funky little live stream tomorrow, but you didn't hear that from me. But I'm excited to see some of our members in Los Angeles, and had a chance to I went to Enocean yesterday, and I went and saw Mark. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. And then went up to Long Beach and hung out with our friends at Friends Everywhere. Mark, thank you so much for the hang. And then a little LA time, and I love coming down here. Don't tell people from Oregon I said that. Moggsy, we'll see you tomorrow. Love you. Thanks for your help.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. We'll wrap up with a little bit of reminder time. The summit in Chicago, our first leadership summit, the theme building an unfair advantage for marketers. That's happening April 15th. And then the Top 40 Classic, again, we will be announcing our jury next week. Why do I think it's Friday? I'm acting like it's Friday. The way I'm just stumbling over stuff, I'm acting like it's Friday. But go to indieagency.news. All the good stuff is there. And if you are interested in membership, you can reach out indieagency.news/join. You can also reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. On behalf of everybody at Indie Agency News, thank you so much for supporting this mission. And we'll see you next time.